Now, I didn't realize that this was possible until a few minutes ago because I have spent literally the last half hour just reading up on Stéphane Richer. Reading up all about this guy, looking at the stats, looking at the highlights, and watching what made him such a good player in the NHL. And, you know, it's kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie, how I even got down this rabbit hole of looking at Stéphane Richer highlights and reading up all about this guy. Because today's video is about Cole Caufield, and it's interesting how that ties in, but don't worry, there is a tie-in here for sure. And it's a really simple video. We're strictly just talking about Cole Caufield and the Laval Rocket and the fact that his new jersey number has been revealed. Now, let's kind of go in a little bit of an in media race over here in this conversation, because this all started, this entire Stéphane Richer kind of rabbit hole for me, it all started just a few minutes ago, when I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw the Laval Rocket feed pop up on my timeline. I had a whole bunch of people that I follow on Twitter who are Habs fans, so when Laval Rocket stuff is cool, it's big, it's newsworthy, it usually pops up because some of the people I follow like that material, they retweet it and all that. So, Cole Caufield's number for the Laval Rocket was revealed earlier yesterday, and my immediate instinct upon watching the cool reveal video they made was why? What in the world? Why? Caufield had number 8 with Wisconsin. He had number 13 in different parts of the NTDP and Team USA. He wore 59 as well earlier on in his career, but the number that he has been assigned to in Laval has not been one of the ones he has had recently. It's not the 8 that he shared with Wisconsin. It's not the 13 that he had with the NTDP. The 8 is understandable because Josh Brook is currently wearing number 8, so it'd be tough for Caufield to come in and take that number from him. So 8 was off the table, which is why a lot of people, myself included, were kind of speculating, okay, it's probably going to be 13 then, right? 13, the number he had before, with the NTDP, with Jack Hughes, Zegras, Turcotte, Knight, that generational team. He had 13 then, right? So why doesn't he wear 13 now? The speculation as to whether or not there was another player on Laval wearing 13 is kind of mute because there's just no other player on the team wearing that number. So what does he choose? The number Cole Caufield has been assigned is number 44. And my first instinct was, what the hell? That's like a defenseman number right there, and for a guy who has spent his entire career being down there, I mean, he had 59 before, I guess that's kind of close, but recently it's been 8, it's been 13. I wonder what's going on behind the decision-making here, especially since number 44 is taken by Edmonton on the full-time Habs roster, that in which Caufield is expected to join up with in the next few weeks. What's the idea here? And I had all these thoughts going into my head, and then I read the replies on the video, because I had a lot of other people pop up on my screen that had similar thoughts as me. Why 44? That's a weird number. Caufield, 44? It doesn't really feel like a fit. But then a whole bunch of other replies were like, yeah, it's a new number for sure, but this one is kind of symbolic. Because the last player to score 50 goals for the Montreal Canadiens was Stéphane Richer in 1990, and 44 was his number. I know we have a whole bunch of fans on here on this YouTube channel that are a lot younger than me. That's cool. Nice having the youth involved in the channel talking about hockey and getting involved in the conversation. And we also have a boatload of folks who are also older than me, much older than me too, might I add. I'm only 20 years old. So forgive me if my recollection and my telling of this kind of part of the video is not accurate, but when it gets to a point where I'm spending 30 minutes just ogling over these highlights and looking at this player profile, I was thinking and I was like, yeah, that's a video topic. That's something I can totally talk about for like 8, 9, 10 minutes on end, just kind of going off the top of the dome here. Stéphane Richer was the last to score 50 goals for the Habs. He was a tall guy with some big weight, but despite having this frame, he wasn't really a prototypical power forward, especially like the ones that you would find back in the 90s. Instead, Stéphane Richer's most notable trait was that big booming slap shot. That, despite being so big booming, wasn't really all that big booming because he didn't really need to wind all the way up to get the most power. You know when a Shea Weber bomb comes at you, you know Weber has to absolutely wind up by pulling his stick all the way up at about a 45-degree angle and then clapping it down. Stéphane Richer did not need to do that to get maximum power on his slap shot. He could get 100 miles an hour just by holding it up to his waist at about a 90-degree angle parallel to the ground. It was a really weird, interesting little quip that he had that not too many other people, even today, kind of possess. In order to get full power on a slap shot, most people will wind all the way up, either making their stick fully vertical or just barely before. Stéphane Richer could do this properly, no sweat, just by holding his stick at a right angle to his hip. And as a guy who, at the age of 21, was able to go out there and score 50 goals, it's just so poetic to me, seeing how his number 44 is going to be donned on in Laval by the guy that a lot of Canadian fans are hoping to become probably, hopefully, maybe the next guy to get that 50-goal mark. Now, I know I'm kind of shooting for the moon here. Oh, Caufield, 50 goals? Dude, you're really pumping his tires. And I know, I don't want to make it seem like he's going to be a disappointment, Caufield is, if he doesn't score 50 goals. It's just the history attached with this number in Montreal and how it has been deployed in the past. It's so cool to me and unironically poetic that Caufield is donning number 44 in his first game played with Laval. Now, what exactly is going to happen when Caufield suits up for Montreal? I honestly hope he gets 13 because everybody has been kind of saying, oh, it'd be cool to have Caufield, Suzuki, Kotkaniemi on a line 13, 14, 15, because obviously, you know, that's cool. But 44 is taken by Edmonton, so we don't know exactly how things are going to go down when he comes back over here. If he does not go 13, I would not be surprised to see 59, seeing as he had that before, but, you know, come on. Like, 8's taken by Sherratt, 44 is taken by Edmondson. He's probably going to go with 13, right? So if you have a Max Domi jersey just chilling around, don't be afraid to go out there and get that nameplate changed. But of course, you know, if it doesn't end up being 13, then I'll eat my words and I'll come back to this video talking about how dumb I am. Speaking about when exactly Cole Caufield is going to start out with Laval, some have speculated that his first game might be April 9th against the Toronto Marlies, so we'll see when exactly that's going to come down. That's actually in 5 days, so that's really quick. I didn't realize that that quarantine had been fulfilled so quickly, but hey, Caufield's here and he's ready to roll. Or at least, he's a few days away from being ready to roll. I'm just super excited to see how this is going to go down because, you know, if this guy comes out here and he carries over that mojo that he had in the NCAA already playing against men, where he was getting like a goal every 30 minutes, it seemed, maybe that number 44 is a very good fit. And the fact that it belonged to Stéphane Richer before and the whole number one goal scorer in Montreal kind of vibe is attached to that, then hey, you know, it does make a whole bunch of sense, and I'm actually really pleased that they did that. Also, plus, hey, it let me go down a rabbit hole of checking out Stéphane Richer and going over his career and what that was like. So, interesting conversations to have for sure, isn't it? Sorry for making a video about this, though. I know it's Canadian to talk about me being apologetic for talking about something I want to talk about, but we've just been making so many videos about Caufield, man. And I know the sentiment in the comments is always, oh, you can just go ahead and talk about this guy, but I still feel bad because not everybody on this YouTube channel that is subscribed cheers for Montreal. We have a lot of Canucks fans, we have a lot of Red Wings fans. In fact, the next video on this channel is going to be for the Red Wings and the Canucks fans because I have some very harsh words to say about Craig Button's top 100 prospects list. But for Cole Caufield, man, this guy, even though it makes me kind of cringe at how much I'm talking about this guy because of how much I love his prospect profile, at the end of the day, we're still going to do it, you know? Like, we still have people here who want to see the Caufield stuff, and because he is probably the most hyped about NHL prospect we've had in a long time for the Montreal Canadiens system, which has a very passionate fan base, if you have not already seen, hey, we're going to go ahead and do it anyway, so I can't believe we spent 9 minutes talking about Stéphane Richer and Cole Caufield getting number 44, but I guess that's the video here. Talk to me in the comments what you think. Do you have any memories of Stéphane Richer? As I said, I was born in the year 2000, so by the time Stéphane Richer was already gone from Montreal, 10 years past his 50-goal mark with the Habs, I was put into the world. And especially as a guy who got into hockey around 2011 when the Canucks went to the finals, I certainly had to do my fair share of research in order to actually gather what it was that made this Stéphane Richer so special. But hey, if you're one of the very lucky individuals to have actually seen Stéphane Richer in action, then hey, talk to me in the comments. What was he like? What was that overall goal-scoring ability like out there on the ice? Caufield probably doesn't have that same shot quality, but there's been a lot of speculation that says, okay, Caufield is such a great all-around goal scorer. It's not just the snipages and the barrage of slap shots that he can put on net that make him successful. It's everything else around that too. So I guess there's a difference there. But talk to me in the comments what you think about Caufield, the number 44, the Laval Rocket, him making his debut. I hope you enjoyed this video. So that's Rose 99. And bye.